I found lockdown really hard because I couldn't see any of my friends and it felt like I was locked in my house forever. I could only go out once a day on walks with my dogs. And the only way I could speak to my friends is on my phone. I really wanted to go and see them, but I couldn't because of all the restrictions. And it hurt my life seeing it being wasted, stuck at home.
Well, when everything else was closed, we were able to come and put in sort of a sheet of books that we require or things that we'd be interested in, and they'd put together a package for us all, mostly the children, and they know the boys, so they put together some really good books, some new books, interesting books for them to choose, and we were able to change those every few weeks. And it was a really lovely little thing, actually. It was like Christmas or a birthday, so you never knew what you was going to get, and it was exciting.
Before lockdown, we were coming every 3 weeks to choose different books. We concentrated on certain authors that we enjoyed. During lockdown, when we were able to, the staff chose us the library books and chose different authors that we'd not tried before, and it enriched our ideas of what there was about. And as a result, we have picked up different ideas on what to borrow now.
The library service has a marvellous online book collection called Borrow Box. It was particularly helpful to me dealing with problems with my mother's dementia. I was waking in the middle of the night frequently, and I could just switch on that story, listen to it, to go back to sleep again, which is wonderful because each story lasted me about 3 weeks.
And then log in. That's it. Right, and now that's it. Done.
Yeah, no, lockdown, the greatest thing that I missed in lockdown was personal contact. I haven't hugged my grandchildren.
I like to read anime books, and I like to read about, say, comedy, and it's fun because it's just like, it's not like those are like fact words, because I get confused on all facts and all that, but it's because it's like comics, really. Is a character of the book, and her name is called Toga. I chose it because she's got a mask, and in lockdown, we all had to wear masks.
One of the things that I've really feel I've benefited from, if you like, from COVID, the COVID experience of being in lockdown, is I've actually been on quite long walks from my front door. When you drive everywhere, you don't see over the hedges, you don't look beyond the gateways. And of course, I've followed footpaths which I've never been on before. I would say if there was ever an upside, it was the getting out and about and being just with nature, which has also been reflected in the fact that I've managed to maintain a book group which has used Taunton Library as a source at times for information, and also We've got together and shared all sorts of non-fiction books for a change because of the circumstances we found ourselves in.
I lead a creative writing group in Taunton Library. During lockdown, I suggested we wrote every week, and we'd write a short story or a poem, exchange it by email, and we all had to comment on each other's work. And my daughter published it as a souvenir book. I also kept on charging everybody a fee for the creative writing, and we raised over £200 for Taunton Library.
I'd wanted to be a writer when I was about 14, and then I tried it and I looked at what I'd been writing and thinking, that's rubbish, what have I got to write about at 14? Then when lockdown came along, I thought, what can I do? I'm going to need a project. I think I'll try writing a novel. So now I would say I'm about halfway through. How things are going to proceed when I've finished, I've got no idea, because I've never tried writing a novel before.
I chose to volunteer for the Summer Reading Challenge to kind of enable younger children to get the enjoyment and the fun and the excitement and kind of the satisfaction from the libraries kind of as much as I do, and to share my feelings kind of with them, and hopefully they have that similar love and passion and towards just libraries in general. From an early age, that the library became really kind of important to me, and I guess more so important that when I was 18 or 19, that diagnosed with an eating disorder, that the library became almost like a safe haven to kind of escape your battles and to focus on something positive and give something back to that in the early stage of your life that really helped you.
I got this medal for reading 6 books because I done the Summer Reading Challenge.
At the beginning of lockdown, I felt quite smug. I had just got a batch of books from the library, so I was all right. But very quickly, I was not all right. I had eaten every book, read every book. And me and my friends, who also had library books, we devised a plan. It was a dead letter drop. We used our workplace, followed all the lockdown rules, and I would take a carrier bag of books and leave it in the building, and then my friend would come and leave a bag of books for me. And that way we exchanged library books all the way through lockdown. And also I read authors I wouldn't have dreamt of reading, who I loved. So that took me on a whole new adventure.
I support people with learning disabilities, and it's been very interesting. It's been really kind of like extremes, both extremes. So some of the people I support, they've had a really tough time during lockdown, very used to like their routines, and they haven't been able to get out, and that's been very stressful and impacted on their mental health. But for other people, some of the people I support, especially some of the guys with autism, it's actually been really liberating for them. They've been kind of going out, there's been not many people about, and they've loved it. They've loved the fact they're not fighting through crowds and things. So really interesting kind of contrasts there. Many of the people I support wouldn't think of coming to a library. You know, to them it's just a place with old books, and what's that got to do with me and all that. But I think lockdown has shown that we've really got to utilise our library buildings and our public buildings and kind of get people in lots of different ways, put on different events, things that really cater to them. And that way we can introduce them to lots of other things, and hopefully the joy of books and libraries in general.
I was on my own a lot. I had to think of my creative journey, and something I'd already been playing with was knitting plastic carrier bags. They're now in short supply because they're all biodegradable, but fruit bags aren't. And I found that I could make a yarn and knit with those, part of the fun of it was I was sitting outside my house and a neighbour commented during the walking that it looked really fun and colourful. And suddenly I was getting nets left outside my house, and it's been really lovely. This is a carrier bag, or a knitting bag made of carrier bags, so it's very tough. I expect that'll go on for 50 years. Anyway.
This is the one I was most pleased with, Mozart's Starling, because it takes in the birds, which you like as well. You love your birds, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to reading this. One stage, my school closed down and there were only 2 of us left, and we used to sit in the air raid shelter and read books. Even though bombs were dropping around us, we didn't let it get us down. And I have never stopped learning, because you've just got to keep reading.
I'm a frequent user of the library myself and enjoy that very much. And I really missed the library when it was closed during the lockdown last year. And I then heard about the home library service, which I hadn't been aware of previously. And it bothered me really that some people who, even when the library is open normally, aren't able to make use of it. So I volunteered my services when the library reopened again. And that was about autumn of last year. Started slowly with one person I delivered books to, and now I'm up to 4 people, books, fiction, non-fiction, audio books. And it's actually teaching me a lot, because I'm looking at books and choosing books that I perhaps ordinarily wouldn't do to try and meet the needs and the requirements of the people I deliver them to. I feel it's just an important thing that people who aren't able to take advantage of the service are assisted to do so by the scheme.
I love hugely the home library service. I cannot read. I'm registered blind and disabled. I've been housebound for many years, have not left it for several years, and the books are incredibly important to me. And my wonderful volunteer who chooses the books for me has looked into my life, found out all about it, and this is the book that I'm reading at the moment, Kate Furnival's Shadow on the Nile, because she clocked that I was born in Egypt, and it's all about Egypt. And I'm there, you know, I'm not here in my little house in Somerset, living in 2 rooms. I'm in Egypt, and that's what the books are doing for me, taking me away and giving me my imagination back.
I like coming to the library because I like to read books with my mum.
May I please call to the podium one of the winners of our Summer Reading Challenge 2021, Wild World Heroes, Miss Rosie May Carpenter. Well done. Well done for reading your 6 books and well ahead of the deadline of the 10th of September. We would like to present you this certificate, and may this be the first of a long series of achievement in your life. Remember, don't read just for the prize. Reading is always good for you. Knowledge is power. This is a bookmark, and congratulations. A round of applause.
As I say, I'm 99 years old, and I fell in love with books when I was quite small. You learn a great deal of life from books, which is going to help you on your road through life, which is going to be a long one like mine.
Cover it in paint. No, with that one. Doing the yellow. Yeah.
big scale stuff or
Yeah.
really small.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to confirm my payment.
It's been really, really interesting. Met some wonderful people, really engaging, fantastic stories to tell about lockdown, right from key workers through children to people in care homes. So a real range of people in the community. Some of the stories have been really sad. Mums with kids in flats, and other stories have been like really, really fun as well, you know, like the kids enjoying running around and playing all the time and not going to, some didn't enjoy going to, missing school, some really enjoyed not going to school. So yeah, it's been a good cross section of people using the library and talking about Somerset. And there's been some great pieces of art that have been produced. Some, you know, you might have had to coax a few people, but once they got going, God, they really enjoyed it. And just lovely conversations as well.
The pop-up library service, we've been doing them outside because of the lockdowns. So we haven't been able to go inside all the time into the library, but we really wanted to keep things going for parents and children. So we started running them outside. We started them in Taunton, in Lingford Park, and they were a weekly thing. And we advertised them, we had lots of interest. We get the nursery come every week, which is lovely. And lots of parents and their children, babies, toddlers, all sorts really. So yeah, it's been lovely. It's had a huge impact, I feel, because mums, dads, grannies have been able to get out, granddads get out, speak to other parents and carers, which is really important. It's a really good community vibe, so they can stay afterwards and have a bit of a chat. The children obviously get to interact with each other, which they weren't doing in lockdown, so that's really important. And we have a bit of a sing-song and a dance and things, which is always good. So.